Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Frozen 2. First of all, this poster work is stunning for the IMAX poster of Frozen 2. And while I'm rocking my little Frozen 2 t-shirt, one of my favorite experiences being at the movie theaters as Frozen 2 is opening is seeing all of the little girls dressed up, most of them obviously dressed up like Elsa, but we have some other girls just kind of dressed up in their princess dresses, they have their crowns. It is so adorable. And then seeing all of the kids of all genders out there holding their Olafs, holding their Svens as they come into the movie theater, and then seeing them take pictures with the poster or with the cutout. I saw a family of three taking their picture with a cutout, and the little boy actually went up and was petting the Sven, and then he hugged him and was just like, oh, I love him so much. Oh, it was adorable. But was the movie adorable? That's what we're here to discuss. So Frozen 2 picks up after the events of the first Frozen film, where Elsa is now the Queen of Arendelle. But as she oversees the kingdom, she hears a voice calling out for her. Soon enough, strange happenings force the people of Arendelle to leave their beloved home. Elsa, Anna, Kristoff, Sven, and of course Olaf have to head into the unknown to discover the truth of their people's past to help open up the future. So the first Frozen, I think it's fine. I enjoy it. I think it is a perfectly fine film. I have a lot of script problems and a few character problems, but it is what it is. However, I thought the trailers for Frozen 2 were amazing. They had me completely hooked, intrigued, and I was so excited actually to see this film. Plus, they got my faves, Panic at the Disco and Casey Musgraves on that soundtrack. Yes, please. And in the end, I did have a good time with Frozen 2. It didn't blow me away, but I definitely think it is more than a solid film. So let's go ahead and talk about those positives first. Well, the biggest improvement for me, actually, from the first to this one was character development. I loved the direction every single character in this movie went. Elsa's story arc was amazing, and I really loved the direction they took Elsa in as a character. It worked fantastically well. Anna gets some really great moments in this movie and has a lot of time to really shine in more mature ways than the original film gave her. Kristoff is given so much more attention in this film, and I think he is all the better for it. Sven is just amazing. He steals the show every time his cute reindeer face appears. And Olaf is also an improvement for me, I have to say. I don't know that that's going to be the opinion all the way around, but his jokes landed a lot more. His song, still, no, didn't really work for me, but I really enjoyed Olaf as a character a lot more in this movie. And I enjoyed the world building. We got a little bit more fantastical, a little bit more magical in this film, and I loved it. The elements that we're dealing with lead to some of the most jaw-dropping animation sequences I have ever seen. This movie is stunning all the way around. The attention to detail is amazing. And this new world opens up all of these beautiful set pieces. I enjoyed the magical lore. It brought in those rock trolls from the first film in a way that made them feel more organic. It gave us more of a backstory that I didn't know I even wanted, but I enjoyed that we have it now. As for new characters, I don't think we get all that many of note other than the creatures. And that was a huge highlight for me. There is a lizard in this movie that is so adorable. I need him now. We have horses, we have giants, we have the magic telling stories, the wind, Pocahontas style. I mean, it works so well, and I loved the magical elements. As for the music, I think it is overall a solid soundtrack. I think that most of the songs are good, with a couple standouts. Of course, Into the Unknown is kind of the song they're pushing leading up to release. I think I like the pop version a little bit better, but I'm also a little bit biased. It works really well in the film. However, Elsa's showstopper for me is Show Yourself. It's an amazing sequence in the movie, and it's a beautiful song, which Idina just blows the roof off the place. But what we get this time around is everybody singing. They have a cast of really talented singers, and they used them a lot more in this film. Anna gets to get in on a lot of the singing action as well, and her songs for the most part are really good. I really enjoy her solo song near the end of the film. I thought it actually had a beautiful message, first of all, and it worked. Kristoff gets a really funny song that is kind of ridiculous, and the sequence is ridiculous, but in the best way possible. It's a lot of fun. All Is Found was the Kacey Musgraves cover that is sung in the film initially by Rachel Evan Wood, and it is a beautiful song. But again, the weak link is definitely Olaf's song for me. It felt a little bit out of place just in general, but we'll talk about some problems with Olaf actually in the negatives. So let's just head right on over there. What didn't work so well when it came to Frozen 2? Well, the pacing was probably my biggest problem. I think it's very uneven in its pace. You have these big moments, and then it comes to a pretty big halt. And thankfully, the kids all up in my theater did not get too restless and crazy in the movies. But while I was watching, I just thought, okay, we're starting to drag too much. And I think part of that is that every single one of our main characters has a separate storyline. And Olaf's, his little conflict didn't work for me, and I don't think it was actually necessary. I think it brings up an interesting point and an interesting discussion for children that you could have, but it just didn't organically work itself into the rest of the film for me. And we just shoved so much in here, so much lore, so much backstory, so much of this new magical land that we hadn't really discovered. We have the romance over here, we have Olaf's story over there, we have Anna and Elsa's relationship, Anna learning, Elsa learning, and it just felt like a lot going on. And it just kind of pulled the story out too much to where a moment definitely felt like, oh, what's going on here? And some of the weird stuff in this movie, because there's a lot more weirdness in this one than there was Frozen, it almost feels out of place. I enjoyed it. Like, Kristoff's song is so out there. I mean, it is really just like breaking the fourth wall style. And you're like, whoa! It's a lot of fun and really funny, but it's also like, you know, a little bit jarring when we get into it. But overall, I did really enjoy myself with Frozen 2. Yes, the pacing is a little bit off, but when it hits these big high notes, it really nails them. And it is just a gorgeous adventure to go on, one that provides great character depth and development for characters we all already loved. Now, how do I compare it to the first Frozen? Well, you'll have to check back and watch my revival era Disney ranking, won't you? But just discussing this film, I think it's definitely worth a full price ticket, especially if your family enjoyed the first film, if your kids love Frozen. Yes, if you have heard Let It Go 1,000,001 times, you need to get into that theater and go on this new adventure. There's enough depth and real meaning about loss and identity that adults will get a lot from the film. There's plenty of comedy, beautiful animation, and all of the Elsa powers that kids will want to hear as well. So that is my review of Frozen 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Frozen 2? Or have you already seen Frozen 2? If you have, what did you think of the film and how it compares to the first? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!